Hello and welcome to today's video. This is just going to be a weekend reading vlog. To be quite honest, I just can't decide what I want to read, so I thought it'd be fun to do one of my like randomly generated ideas. I think what I'm going to do, so I've still got a little bit of choice because there's definitely some genres that I'm just not feeling, is I created a wheel not long ago called Colour Wheel. Very inventive. And it's got all the colours on. Hopefully you can see that well enough. And I think I'm just going to spin it. I think I'm going to spin it, and whatever colour it lands on, I need to find a book of that colour and read it. Hopefully I'll be able to get through 2 or 3 books in this video, hopefully. Like, it really is my priority. So yeah, that is the entire plan. It's Thursday today. I'm going to pick a book that I can start reading tonight, and then we'll go for the whole weekend as well. I don't have much to do tomorrow, which is why I'm including Friday in the weekend. So let me press stop screen recording, and I want it's recording. Perfect. Okay, let's just find what our first book's going to be. I can insert this. That's why I'm screen recording. Okay, it's spinning. I dropped my phone. I don't know what it is. You'll be seeing it right now. I've heard the noise say it's chosen. It's blue. Okay, and I was going to say this previous, so now it's going to feel like I'm saying it. I was going to say, if I land on green or blue, I'm also taking it as a sign that I should stay in my pyjamas today. So it's also a sign I should stay in my pyjamas today. Okay, blue. Okay. I'm going to have a look through my books. I'm going to pick out some blue books and I'm going to pick one to read. Okay, I've found 3 books that I think are pretty blue. Like, they're all blue. And I don't know how to decide between them. I've got a second book of like a YA, fairy tale-ish, fantasy, retelling-y type thing. I've got the second book of a sci-fi, like space series. It's quite fun. I really enjoyed the first one. And I've got the newest book in the Wayward Children series. As I can't decide, I'm going to ask Jay to pick for me. He's just over there on that chair. Please pick my book.
This one?
The prompt is blue.
Yeah,
that one?
Yeah,
You're just picking that one?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't even look at the others. We're reading Wayward Children first. Thank you.
That's right.
Okay, hello. I have picked up Misleading Parts I've Known. You'd have seen Jay pick it. And I'm really excited to read this one. It sounds like it's going to be great. And I think every single Wayward Children book I've read so far has got 5 stars. So hopefully this will also be a 5-star read. So this is the 9th book in the Wayward Children series. If you have not heard of the Wayward Children series, it all starts with Every Heart a Doorway, and we are essentially introduced into this world where, as children, there are these magical doorways that appear and you can go into them and find this perfect world for you. And in some of the books in the series, we are in those worlds and following these adventures, and in other books in the series, we are at Eleanor West's home for Wayward Children, and this is a special like home school place where those children who've been to these worlds that were perfect for them but then have somehow found their way back into like the quote-unquote real world and are struggling can go and be surrounded by others who have had similar experiences and can hopefully learn and grow and either be able to move past or find a way back or go on some sort of adventure. It's really great. I really enjoy the series. In this one, which is book 9, obviously I'm not going to read the synopsis because it's book 9 in the series, but this Mislaid in Parts Half Known. I believe, from what I know, in this one we are back at Eleanor West's home for Wayward Children. However, I do believe that we are going to be going on some sort of adventure where we'll get to see glimpses of quite a few other worlds. And from the synopsis, I also believe that we are following, as a main character we've had in a previous book. So that's really exciting, and I'm really excited to read it. I have also got the audiobook available. This is on Everand, and the audiobook is only 4 hours 40 minutes. So to be honest, I think I'm just going to settle down, listen to the audiobook, read along with the main book. Honestly, the audiobooks for this series are great, but I do like having a physical copy as well because there are pictures every so often in here. There's only like 2 or 3 pictures per book, but there does tend to be 2 or 3. By pictures I mean illustrations, so you can kind of see here, and there's normally 2 or 3 of those per book, so I do like to have a physical copy as well. But the audiobooks are great, and I have just listened to audiobooks of some of them, so yeah, that is what the plan is, and I'll check back in probably when I'm halfway through, but I won't be able to say much. But this would be a good check-in time. I am about halfway through chapter 9. I've actually really read quite a bit. I think I'm probably about 60% of the way through, and I'm really enjoying it. It's really good. It's a proper kind of like more adventure style book. It reminds me of book 1 and book 3, the way the adventures are kind of going on in this. The reason it's a good check-in time is because I'm going to pop my headphones on so I can continue listening, because Jay's actually down here making tea, and he's currently on book 5 maybe of this series. He can't remember, but Jay's currently reading this series, and obviously I'm a few books ahead, so don't want to spoil it for him. I'm going to put my headphones on, but yeah, really thoroughly enjoying it so far. I think probably the one that I'd most compare it to is what I'm pretty sure is book 3. I'm going to double check as I've got my phone right in front of me. Yeah, Beneath the Sugar Sky, just kind of like the adventure aspect of that one. That's what it reminds me of. So yeah, I'm gonna pick this back up and read some more. I think it was a great pick, honestly. It really got me in the reading mood, and I don't think I've read something this quickly in quite a while, so I'm very happy. Okay, hello. So I finished Mislaid in Parts Half Known. I really enjoyed it. I can't decide if it's a 4.5 or a 5 stars, but I'm just going to sit on it and like make my mind up. But yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It was a really nice addition. I do agree with what some people are saying about how, like, if there weren't all novellas, the book previous to it and this book could have been like merged together and like just made a bit longer, and it could have just been one book and one story. But I really liked how it was, and I feel like it would have felt a bit jarring if it had been one story. I don't think there would have been a nice easy way to like mesh it together. So yeah, I'm really glad that I read it, and I'm really happy with it. So it's time to spin again. It's time to spin again. So let's get this screen recorder on. Okay, so we are colour wheel, back to the start, and pressing spin. Okay, white. Okay, I do not know what I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna have a look round and I'll come back when I've got some options. Okay, so we got the colour white, and I decided on a book, I think. Like, I'm nervous for it, but I'm gonna go for it. So there were quite a few white books I could have chose from. I picked 5 out. One of them was a non-fiction, but it was a bit of a longer non-fiction, and the audiobook wasn't available straight away. And then the other 3 were all fantasy, one of which didn't have an audio available, and I just don't feel like I want to sit down and just read like a big chunky fantasy. It was like over 500 pages, and then the other two, the audiobooks, were like 30 hours long, and I was like, so whether I decide to read them physically or via audio, they're going to take a few days, and like I want to do this a few more times. So the one I've decided to go for in the end is a very small tiny non-fiction that I've had for a little while now that I'm very intrigued by. So this is Garments Against Women, and as you can see the cover is mainly white, and on the back it just says, in this award-winning book Anne Boyer explores the struggle to create, survive and care for one another in a world made for the powerful. When some are rich and some are poor, she asks, who designs our clothes, our buildings, who creates the forms that shape our lives, who writes our literature, and who gets to dream. Don't know much about it, but I'm intrigued. I want to know more. It's quite a short little like non-fiction. I think it could be interesting, and I've definitely been feeling like reading more non-fiction lately, like I have been prioritising it more, so let's give this a go. Okay, so I've read roughly 12-13% of this book. I've read up to page 24. It starts on page 9, it ends on page 96. It's actually probably more like 15. Should I just work this out? Okay, so I've read 17%, 17.2 if you want to be specific. I'm gonna DNF it. Like, I'm not liking it. I'm really upset because like I really thought I was gonna like this book, but yeah, it's cool. We're still getting through the TBR, we're still getting through it, and we get to spin again and find something new to read. I'm extra annoyed because I started annotating it, and then not far in I realised the main thing that I liked is written by someone else. So I'm going to write down what this quote was from. But a lot of what I'm looking through I don't like. I don't know how to describe this except for to say that every single paragraph seems both like this person had a thesaurus next to them the entire time they're writing, but also like they've never looked at a thesaurus before. Like, it was so repetitive with so many different words that meant the same thing at the same time. Honestly, I'm really not enjoying it, and it also felt judgmental. Like, within the first few pages I already had like put lines under things because it felt judgmental. I think what gave me the ability to feel like it's okay to DNF is clearly the person who owned this before me. I did get the second-hand DNF'd around page... Oh. Well, obviously it just wants me to stop talking about this. Around page 23, 22, I reckon they're stopped because that's when the corners of the pages stopped being folded over. Yeah, this really wasn't for me. It was like the author was trying to sound clever, but it wasn't working. And also, the points were just so repetitive. Like, to the point where 3 to 4 paragraphs were saying pretty much the same thing every time. I don't know, I'm just not enjoying it. I'm going to DNF it. Not easy to read, repetitive and wordy, and feels like it's going to get very judgmental. It already kind of has. Like, I don't know, I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it. It is now almost 10 PM, so I'm going to go upstairs and do one more spin and pick out a book, but I don't want to start reading it today. That will probably be tomorrow. Okay, we're back in the office. Let's spin again. Okay, it's recording. Let's spin. Green. Okay, we can we can figure something out. I'm not seeing any green books in front of me, but I'm sure I can find one. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of green. This might be a nice option. Oh, I can see a green one there as well. Okay, I'm gonna have a look. I'm gonna have a look through the bookcase and see what I can find. Okay, it has been a while, but I ended up picking the first book I picked off the shelf, so I should have just gone with it. But I went through quite a few books, but this one, I already know that I enjoy the writing and vibe of it. This is Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail, which is, I don't think it's actually technically a sequel, but I'm not sure. I guess I'll find out when I start reading it. It's a companion novel to the Delilah Green Doesn't Care book. I don't know if there is a series name. No, I don't think there is. So yeah, I think it's just a companion novel, but I guess we'll find out. In this one, we follow Astrid Parker. I don't think I want to say more because events of the first book, but what I will say from the back, I know that this is 1 year after the events of book 1, and we are now following Astrid Parker, who is the stepsister that we see a little bit of in book 1, Delilah Green. And obviously it's a romance. I feel like this is, I don't know why they did this basically. So in book 1, a lot of the things, a lot of the drama, a lot of the happenings revolve around the fact that the stepsister, Astrid, is getting married to a bit of a twat. Clearly, by the fact that this is book 2 in a romance series, there's going to be a romance. So I'm not going to say anything, but yeah, let's just say things happened in book 1. And I'm excited to read book 2. I also really enjoyed the audiobook to this. The audiobook's only on Spotify, I think, so I am going to try and find it. But yeah, I'm intrigued. I hope the cover's more accurate. The cover for book 1, very pretty, very nice. So this is very pretty, very nice, but some of the detail that showed on the cover were not accurate to how it was written in the book, and that was a very stupid thing, but it definitely bothered me. But yeah, this is what I'm going to go for green, and we'll see how it is. I'm definitely, if I do read any tonight, it'll be a chapter or 2, but I will check in tomorrow when I have time. So yeah. Hello, thought I'd check in. It is now 20 past 4 on Friday, and I'm a good chunk of the way into this. I'm on chapter 24 and I'm really enjoying it so far, but I'm worried how much has happened in the story, that there's still so much left, because I feel like we're going to have some sort of like bullshit miscommunication thing going on. Right now, if you ask me what was left to happen, I'd be like, they need to have a conversation about this thing and a conversation about this thing. And that's that, we're done. But there's still quite a chunk left. I've been mainly listening to it via the audiobook. The audiobook's really good, I do like it. And according to this, like the audiobook app, I am 64% of the way through, and there's 4 hours 7 minutes left. So I might finish it today, I might not. We are going out shortly, so not 100% sure if I'll get to finish it, but I'm really, really excited. I'm really enjoying it, and honestly I'm just having a great time. I think it's really, really good. This is definitely up there with the best romance books I've read. Like, I just like the vibes, I like how nice it is, I like how easy it is. And one thing that I am much preferring in this book to the first book being Delilah Green, the actual friendship, the friendship between these people in this one seems much more like legit and real, and like actually like lifelong friends, whereas it didn't always come across that way in the first book in this series. So yeah, really enjoying it, having a great time. No complaints, and yeah, I'm just gonna keep reading. I'm happy, I'm impressed, I'm gonna keep going. So the next day I've finished Astrid Parker Doesn't Fail. It feels like a 4-star, but I think I need to sit with it a little bit longer, because like I don't read romance very often, so I don't feel like I'm the best at rating it, because like obviously like world building and plot isn't like a big thing in contemporary romance. Like that's not really so necessary, so I'm not 100% sure on the rating yet. If I was going with instinct, I'd say it's about a 4, but we'll see where it falls at some point. I'll probably shove the star rating on the screen right now. But yeah, I'm gonna go back upstairs and we're gonna spin the wheel again. Okay, we are upstairs. I'm going to set the wheel up and spin. I guess I should also say, like, that book, the Astrid Parker one, it did the miscommunication thing that, like, well, is it miscommunication? Like, all romances have, like, the 3rd act breakup. It wasn't too annoying. I wasn't annoyed at either of the characters, but I was annoyed at the situation, and it did feel like it went on for a little bit too long, but I wouldn't say it went on long enough to like super negatively impact my enjoyment. But I'm a bit fed up with them, so if you do know of any romances that like don't do the stupid third act breakup when like everything's okay and then suddenly they have to have a little tiff, please do leave them down below, because I feel like I would much prefer that. Okay, I am screen recording. I think we just need to spin. But let's spin. Purple. 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 I don't know if I have anything. Okay, the only thing that I have that I could think of, already down here, I haven't got its case on. It's like, what do you call that thing? The dust jacket. Is this book. I have to insert a picture on the screen. It is the 4th book in the Thursday Murder Club series. I'm gonna have to go purple for this. Like, purple is definitely its main colour, especially when you look at this series and how they're set up. Like, this one's main colour is purple. I'm excited but nervous to get to this one. So yeah, I think I did read the first chapter when I first decided to move it down here to the bedside table. So I think that was over a month ago now, so I'm gonna have to restart. But I'm intrigued and excited, and yeah, we'll see where this goes. We will see where this goes. If you have never heard of the Thursday Murder Club before, the first one is called the Thursday Murder Club, and it is about 4 elderly, like 80-plus-year-olds who live in a retirement village, and every Thursday, hence the title, they meet up in the jigsaw room and go over cold cases, like cold case files that have managed to get their hands on, and like try and solve them. And then one day, not very far into the book, a murder happens on their doorstep, and they decide that they should be involved in the investigation and try and like weasel their way into the police investigation and like figure out who did it. So yeah, it's I really love the series. I think it's very mystery based in terms of there's always something you're solving, but the characters are so lovable, and like the characters, like you see the same characters throughout the books, and I just think you get such like a connection to these characters. Yeah, I love it, and I can't wait to read this one. But I have heard that a lot of people cry to this one, and I don't really want that. I guess we're gonna see. So I guess we should start reading. Hi, so another random check-in. Basically, I thought I got access to the audiobook of this one, which is this audiobook here, but it turns out the library hold line, like the queue, is actually really long, and I don't get the audiobook for this until December. So I'm still going to read this, but this is going to be my physical read. Like, I'm only going to be able to read the physical book, which is fine, except for I'm going to spend the next 2 to 3 hours repotting plants, and I want to listen to something whilst I'm repotting the plants. So I'm going to spin, and we're just going to have 2 books on the go. I think that is the best way I can do it, because any other way is like I want to make sure I'm reading something based on the wheel, but I've got 3 hours of like reading time that's just like literally I can completely concentrate. I don't need to do anything except for a methodical process of repotting the plants, which I know how to do. So I will read this. I'll probably read it tonight, but just not until after I've done the plants. So okay, let's spin. Let's spin. Red. I've quite a few options. I do not know what has an audiobook, so I think I'm gonna have to do a bit of research and look on the different apps that I use and find a red option with an audiobook. Okay, honestly I'm really struggling because it is the end of the month. Everywhere's got its like audiobooks more limited, so I haven't found anything I own on the library, and the way Everand works is like the more you use it, the more restrictive it is with what you can do, and I've used it loads this month, and it is currently the 20th. So honestly I don't know what to do. I could just look through the app and see if there's anything to read, but I'm guessing it won't be anything I own, as like I haven't searched it. I have not checked my top shelf actually, I've just realised. Okay, I might actually have an option. I'm pretty sure that this is always available on the library. Like, it's not a very popular book. I think it's always available. I hadn't checked my very top shelf at all. They're not really shelves I use very often, but this is like mainly read. Let me double check because yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to go for this. This is available right now. Hopefully it's showing up on camera how red it is, because not gonna lie, on the library app it looks very pink. But I'm gonna call it. I'm really shocked that I did that, because I was honestly thinking, am I gonna have to respin? But yeah, this is what I'm gonna go for. I really know nothing at all about it. I think it's historical. I have enjoyed historical in the past, but they do tend to be like few and far between. This one says Cornwall 1972, three keepers vanish from a remote lighthouse miles from the shore. The entrance door is locked from the inside. The clocks have stopped. The principal keeper's weather log describes a mighty storm, but the skies have been clear. What happened to those three men out on the tower? The heavy sea whispers their names. The tide shifts beneath the swell. Drowning ghosts. Can their secrets ever be recovered from the waves? Right, my camera's run out of space. I've only managed to get 42 more seconds of space, so I'm going to do this very quick. Essentially, then the synopsis goes on to say, 20 years later, the women they left behind are still struggling to move on. Helen, Jenny and Michelle should have been united by the tragedy, but instead it drove them apart. When a writer arrives trying to solve the puzzle, he gives them a chance to tell their side of the story, but only in confronting their darkest fears can the truth begin to surface. And it also says inspired by real events, so I'm intrigued. I'm willing to give it a go. I picked this up very cheap. I picked it up for £1. I'm going to give it a go. We'll see what I think. I'm going to go read. Hello. I'm not gonna lie, it's quite ridiculous today. It's like 11:15. I've only just finished doing the plants, and I did listen to this most of the time that I was doing it, and I think I'm DNFing it. I got 55 pages in, so I really didn't like give it a good go. I gave it a good try, and I think my problem with a lot of historical fiction is I just can't make myself care. Like, okay, yeah, this is based off a real event. At some point I might look into that. Like, that sounds really interesting, actually reading about the real event, but like reading about a fake version of the real event, like that's not getting me at all. And then the other thing is, like, I read, obviously, like when I read non-fiction, it's not always just for enjoyment. A lot of it is like education, information, keep myself knowledgeable, wanting to stay in the loop with what's going on and wanting to be able to make informed decisions. But when it comes to fiction, I read for enjoyment, and I'm not enjoying this. I don't find any of what's going on in here fun. I don't find any of the misogyny fun. I don't find any of the sexism fun, and I don't like the way that these women are treating each other fun. And I think the way that the men are talking about the women is absolute shite as well, to be quite honest. So I don't want to read it. Honestly, I was unsure when I started this clip, but I've made myself sure by talking about it. So that's a DNF, but that is another DNF, which I don't mind because I want to get through my TBR, and a lot of these books are books that I've got from charity shops, and I had the mindset of £1, £2, £3. I wanted to risk that on like a cool looking book and see if I enjoy it. But I had that thought process too many times. I now need to limit myself to how many times I allow myself to do that, because I've got too many books built up. So I think it's time to spin again. Let's just spin. So still physical book I've got going on is this one, but I want another audio book really, or a book that I can get as ebook through the library, or I do have a couple of other subscriptions at the moment, so maybe it'd be on like Everand or Kindle Limited. I think I've still got a free thing of at the moment. So yeah, right, let's start a screen recording. Okay, colour wheel. Let's spin. Yellow. Top of my head I can think of a couple of yellow books that I'm really excited to read. I doubt there's audiobooks for them, so I'm gonna once again have to have a look. But yeah, I'm not worried. I'm confident I can find an audiobook for yellow. There's not as many, but the ones that there are, like standouts, I can't really imagine them. So yeah, I'll come check in once I've picked a book. Okay, so I went through my stuff that I'd already made up for my reading journal. So I was like, these are books I'm already interested in, and these are the 4 that look like yellow. Out of these 4, only this one had an audiobook available. Found it out. Doesn't really look yellow, like on the printout that looks quite yellow, but on this it's only literally this tiny area. Then I went to my bookshelf, and I do have this, and I do have an audiobook available for this through Everand, so I now need to decide which I'm gonna do. And like, this just doesn't look yellow enough for me. Like, I'd pick this for green. Yeah, probably green or brown, I'd say the primary colours on this. Not actually, it's a tiny bit of yellow, so I think we're going for this. I think we're going for Plain Bed Heroines. I have no idea what it's about, and I'm way too tired to function, so I will just check in the morning and give you a synopsis and an update. Hello, so quick update. It is lunchtime now on Sunday, and I'm going to be quick because Jay's currently making lunch. So I've actually made dents in both of these, I would say. I'm going to quickly talk about The Bullet That Missed first, because it is the 4th book in the series, so I'm not going to give specifics, but the writing and the characters and just the lovely wholesomeness that you get from this whole series is just as present in this one. I've made it up to chapter 7, which is page 40, and I'm absolutely loving it. I can't wait until I get time to just sit down and read this. Might even suggest going to the park later if it stays sunny out, but yeah, really enjoyed what I've read so far, and I'm intrigued to get into this storyline and see where it goes. Then in terms of Plain Bad Heroines, I'm not very far in, I'm on page 12, so really not very far, but I have been listening via audio. I've just noticed that there's a few pictures in this, so maybe I should keep it relatively close, just so every, I don't know, half an hour or so I can flick through and make sure I haven't missed any images. But I'm now that I've got into chapter 1, I'm really quite enjoying it. I assume this is chapter 1, it's one macabre afternoon to begin. Basically right at the very start, it started with like an excerpt, and honestly I was just like really not liking it. It took me ages to listen to it. I probably restarted it like 2 or 3 times, but the writing didn't stay like that. The writing not completely changed, like it still has the same like tonal effect once I got into the actual chapters, which based on the font not being in italics, I'm guessing it stays like this the rest of the way through. I don't want to look too hard and potentially spoil myself, but yeah, I was really getting into it. I was just listening along, and I was really getting absorbed very quickly in what this day was, what was going on, and basically like the day the events this book is, I think, going to follow happen. So I never read you the back of this one, so I'm going to quickly do it because now my camera battery is flashing. Everything is just everything in. Brookhant School for Girls, infamous site of a series of tragic deaths over 100 years ago, soon to be the subject of a controversial horror movie about the rumoured Brookhant's curse. In the early 1900s, Brookhant students Flo and Clara fell madly in love, brought together by their obsession for a scandalous memoir. A few months later, they were found dead in the woods after a horrific wasp attack. The book lay next to their entwined bodies. 3 more grisly deaths followed before the school was forced to close. Now the school's doors are open once more, but as the crew of glamorous young actresses assembled to start filming, past and present begin to blur, and soon it's impossible to tell quite where the curse ends and Hollywood begins. I'm very intrigued by this, so again, as long as the sun stays out, I'm going to be doing some painting outside today. I'm going to be painting the fence and the benches that I cleaned yesterday, so hopefully they'll last 1 more year. I mean, the fence will, as long as it's painted, but the bench we got very cheap when we moved in, like 4 summers ago. Was it 4 summers ago or 3 summers ago? I don't remember, but we got it extremely cheap, second hand, and just wanted it to last that summer. And this is now, this is 21, 22, 23, yeah, this is its 4th summer, so it's lasted way longer than we thought it would, but it definitely needs a paint touch up. Fingers crossed it'll last all of this summer and we can use the garden. But previous to yesterday, the garden wasn't really usable, but I've started tidying it yesterday, and I'm figuring if I get it painted, then I only need 1 more nice day to get all the raking and the weed movements out the way. So yeah, I think whilst it's this nice, I will probably end up painting. I'm also already in my like trousers that have got paint on them already, so I think it makes sense, but we'll see. But yeah, if I end up doing stuff like that, I'll be listening to this. If I end up chilling and having sit down time, I'll be reading this, and I'm excited about both of them, so this is going very, very good. Hello, quick check-in. We're about to pop out and get some food because we did not realise the time. It's now after 6. The shops are closed. We don't have food in. And there's something else as well. I can't remember. I need some food. But yeah, I have made progress in both of these. I'm really enjoying both of them for very different reasons. I'm going to relax once we've got food, and I'm definitely going to be reading The Bullet That Missed. I keep wanting to say The First Day Murder Club, but that's not the one that it is, that's the series name. I am now 64 pages in, so over an 8. I think it's about 400 pages normally, so over an 8. And I'm loving it. It's so good. I keep actually laughing out loud, and it's just great. Like, I highly recommend this series. It's so good. And then this one, again, I've just been listening on audio, but I've been having a really good time. Like, it's very interesting. I'm not 100% into it yet. Like, I don't really know the story and I don't get it, but like, it's such like an atmospheric, cool read where I just really do feel like I'm there and I'm just absorbed. I'm definitely up for reading more. I'm a bit concerned about how large it is. It is 600 and... okay, the last few pages aren't numbered, but around 620, and I'm just, you know, I've been reading for quite a while now, and I'm on page 36. So I'm a little... is it going to keep holding my interest is basically my main worry. I also really like this bookmark. I got it for Christmas, and it's very fun, like, well... so yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to keep reading once we've got food. Hi. Hello. So I've not yet finished either of the 2 books I've got going, but I have decided I'm going to spin and pick my final book for this video now, because I'm about to do all of my like May TBR stuff. It's currently the 22nd, so I want to at least get my rolls done and get the books picked out, and hopefully, fingers crossed, film the whole thing today as well, if I can find time. I'm hoping I'll have time to film it as well. So yeah, I want to do this. So obviously I don't want to have an option for the wheel and not be able to do it because I put it on TBR. So I want to get the book picked and then I can do my TBR for next month. So let me start a screen recording. 3, 2, 1, recording. Let's spin. Pink. I was worried about pink. I don't know what I'm going to pick for that. There are a few pink options, I just don't know if I care about any of them, but do you know what, that's the whole point of this. Like, I'm getting through my TBR, I can pick one up, and if I start it and don't care, then I'm done. But yeah, I'm going to go pick a big pink book. There's a couple of non-fictions, but I don't really fancy doing a non-fiction when I've got this big chunky book. Like, I know it's fiction, but it's like very chunky and very dense. So I think I'm going to stay fiction. I've got a couple on my mystery shelf, and I think I've got a contemporary and maybe a sci-fi. So I'm going to go grab them and find out. Okay, so these 2 here, Death of a Bookseller and How to Kill Your Family, are both mysteries that I picked up. I don't read a lot of mysteries. I don't even know if these are mysteries or thrillers. I don't read a lot of that genre, or those genres. But I picked them both up because they sounded good at the time, and since then I have heard quite bad reviews of them, basically. Yeah, so I don't actually know if I'm going to like either of them. I'd say if I don't like this one, I won't be too upset, because it's just like, I think it sounds interesting, but there's really not much on the back. It says, they say you can't choose your family, but you can kill them. Meet Grace Bernard, daughter, sister, serial killer. Grace has lost everything and she will stop at nothing to get revenge. It just sounded a bit fun. And it was a bright pink cover with like an interesting way to have the Y being done, like being like the wiser, will that focus? There we go, the wiser dug grave. So like, I just found it fun. So like, if I don't love it, it's okay. Whereas this one, I went out my way to get the independent bookshop edition because I just really like the sound of this one. So yeah, I mean, it's a really nice edition. If I don't like it, I can sell it on. Like, I've kept it in really good condition. This is 255 of 1,000 copies. So, and it's signed. So like, yeah, I'll be upset if I don't like this one. So I'm going to put this one back because I don't want to end the video on like a down note if I don't like it. Like, if I love it, that's great, but I can pick it another time. I think I'll go for this one. I know I've got audiobooks available. I know I can read it physically. I'm pretty sure the ebook's available as well. And if I don't like it, it's not the end of the world. And if I do like it, it's a pleasant surprise at this point, to be honest, because the reviews have been really bad. Okay. Yeah, like, the reviews for this one are quite mixed. But when I brought it, they were only positive, whereas the reviews for this one, I don't know the last time I saw a positive one. So yeah, we're going to go with How to Kill Your Family as the final book for this video, which means I'm going to be reading these 3 books to finish off the video, probably over the next couple of days. So yeah, I'm excited, and I will check in when I have updates. finished the Thursday Murder Club 4 last night, which was called The Last Devil to Die. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really good. I'm a bit confused about what to rate it. So essentially when I finished it, I was thinking like, that's either a 4 or a 4.5. Like the characters, the emotional side of it, like how much you know everyone, how much you're still getting to know people. Amazing, 5 stars. But the mystery itself was very predictable. I pretty much guessed everything, I think. There was one reveal that I didn't guess. I guessed that the right sort of person was involved, but I guessed the wrong one of the 2 people possible. But like, I don't think you're even meant to guess that. I don't know, like I really just... I found the mystery very, very predictable. But I don't know if the mystery was more predictable than the other books, or if I've just been reading more mystery since I read the first one. Like I think the first Thursday Murder Club book was the first mystery I'd ever read. So I really don't know. So I was like, okay, 4, 4.5. But then I've gone back onto Goodreads and checked my ratings for the others, and 2 of those have got 4 stars. I don't know if it was when I was doing 0.5 stars or not, because I haven't wrote anything, and I also didn't used to write reviews like that, so I haven't wrote a review, so I don't know why I gave it 4 stars. Were they as predictable and I just haven't wrote it down and I don't remember that part? I really do not know. I don't know why, especially the first one. I don't know why that wasn't 5 stars. I gave it 4 stars. I think I gave book 2 4 and book 3 5, maybe, something like that. I do remember book 2 feeling weaker than book 1. I remember that, so I wasn't surprised that that one hadn't got 5 stars, but I was very surprised the first one hadn't. So I don't know. I don't know what to rate this, basically. I think I'm leaning towards a 4.5 because the emotional side and how connected to these characters you are is crazy. I will say I didn't properly cry. I got like a little choked up. Like, I've seen everyone online crying, and like my mom's read this and cried, but like I thought I'd cry and I didn't. Like I got teary-eyed, and like, you know that feeling when you've got something like stuck in your throat and you're like, oh. I think I took a clip at that point, but I thought I'd cry. I don't know, there's nothing wrong with not crying, but I was just like, oh, okay. I don't know, like, even it still really like impacted me what they were doing, so like, yeah, it was good. So yeah, all that to say, I finished it. I don't know what I'm rating it yet, but obviously when I do rate it, I'll write out a full review. I do that now, both on Goodreads and in my reading journal for myself. I've already stuck it in, so I just need to actually write the review part of it. But yeah, we'll see. Hello. So I have officially DNF'd this. I tried to listen to more of it last night. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't make it much further than 10% in. I could sit here and tell you all the different reasons why I've DNF'd it, but I think it'd be easier to just say there is absolutely nothing about this that I liked. There was absolutely nothing making me want to keep reading. The main character was very miserable, and the entire time it was just moaning about many, many things. Reasonings did not make sense, and I understand sometimes wanting to like read from a main character that like maybe you don't agree with, or you know, you don't gel with, or even just you think is wrong. Like, I understand that like reading from a perspective that maybe isn't 100% mentally sane would be interesting, and I'm not 100% sure that's what this book was going to do, because obviously I didn't get very far in. I mean, I got a bit further than where my bookmark is, but not much. But it felt so 2D, like it didn't feel like you know, like a 3D fully fleshed out character. It felt very like 2-dimensional, and it just really didn't work. I was getting nothing out of it, and I wasn't enjoying my time with it. I can see that this would work for some people. The writing style was very dry, very difficult to like deal with, I guess. Like, it wasn't a difficult writing, like it was easy to understand, but it was just so dry, there was nothing there. But I think maybe if your humour is very much that way, like, I don't know, like I think I have quite a dark sense of humour sometimes, but like this didn't even really go there, so I don't know, honestly, I don't know. Yeah, it just wasn't for me, so it's a DNF. I am however going to continue reading this one. Again, I'm further in than what the bookmark shows. I did listen to more last night, but even where the bookmark is 1/6 of the way in, and I think I listened to a couple more chapters, so you know, I'll figure out where I am shortly when I've pressed play on the audiobook again and find it in the book. But yeah, that's basically my main focus right now, is to finish this. It's very chunky. I'm enjoying it. I think it's interesting. It's making me think a lot, and it's a writing style I've never read before. Like, I'm really enjoying when it's like talking to the reader, like, oh, you reader might be aware that I'm saying this thing, or like stuff like that. I think it's really working well. And I don't know, like, I'm intrigued. There's a lot of mystery, and at the same time I feel like, even from what I know from the back, I don't feel like we're even fully in the mystery yet. I know I'm excited about it, and I know I'm enjoying reading it even though it is slow, because I've already set up my reading journal spread for it. Like, I got so excited about it, I already set it up. So like, I know I'm really enjoying it. And yeah, I'm just having a really interesting time, I'd say, reading it. I feel like we haven't really got very long with any character where I'm at. Like, we changing characters quite a lot. I'm actually trying to remember if I've read from the same character twice or not, and I'm not 100% confident I have. Obviously with a book this thick, I'm assuming I will. But yeah, I don't know, like, it is very, very different to anything I've ever read before, and as long as I continue to enjoy it, I can definitely see myself reading more like this. I guess I just got to keep reading to see if more happens and if I feel differently. So I'm gonna keep reading. So just mini update, I guess. I'm still reading this. I'm enjoying it when I'm reading it, and I'm really liking the vibes and the atmosphere and what's going on. I am on page 290, and I feel like I'm eventually getting into what the plot's going to be. So as much as I've liked that first half, like, that's the size of a full book, and I feel like we only got through the introductions. Now, I'm not a writer. I don't know if it could have been done with the same atmosphere and vibes quicker. I don't know. But I feel like it could have been. However, now we get into the plot, I am excited to continue on. But honestly, it's just massive. I'm really reading it at every opportunity I get, but obviously, like, I've got other shit I need to do as well. So I've mainly been reading it when I've been like cooking and eating, and I still have 6 hours 52 minutes left of the audiobook, and that's on 1.5 speed. Often I'm having to slow it down to 1.2 if I'm doing anything else that makes my brain too focused. Or if I'm reading it before bed, I need 1.2 because I haven't got the book in front of me in that case. So yeah, I will basically just come back and update when I've finished it, but I really don't know when that will be because it's taking ages. I'm guessing a few more days. So yeah, it's going good so far, but I kind of just want to finish it now. Hello, quick check-in. I'm about to go and clean for the day, but I'm definitely going to finish Plain Bad Heroines today. I've only got 2 hours left of the audiobook, and when I clean I normally wear headphones. I'm still so confused as to how I feel about this book, to be honest. Like, I'm enjoying it when I'm reading it, but outside of me actually picking it up, it's not gripping my attention at all, and I'm not really caring. And it's a very big book for me to not really care. I really don't know what rating I'm going to give it. I think it's going to be one of those that when I finish, hopefully the ending's good and that'll help make some sort of decision. But also, I'm going to have to think, what the hell do I rate this? Like right now I truly don't know what I'd tell you I'm rating this. Like, I've still got 2 hours left, so there's still, it can get better, it can get worse, but right now I couldn't tell you. So yeah, the next time you see me, except for maybe a time lapse if I set that up, will be when I finish the book. Hello. So it's been a few weeks. I've just finished editing this video up until this point, and I was very shocked to find that I never updated with my final thoughts. I truly thought I had, but I can't find it anywhere, so I'm guessing I didn't, or I've accidentally deleted it somehow. But yeah, I did eventually finish Plain Bad Heroines. I don't actually think I finished it on the day that I've just said I was definitely going to. I think it was actually the next day. Ended up giving it 3 stars. I enjoyed it, it was good. I had an alright time just like vibing and listening to the audiobook and seeing it through. Like, it was decent in terms of the vibes, but the plot really wasn't there, and it's just way too long. Like, I don't know how personally it could have been done better, because like I don't write, I just read. But it feels like if this was like 100 or maybe even more pages shorter than what it was, it could have been a lot more enjoyable. I enjoyed our characters, and I didn't mind the ending. The ending was okay. It was open-ended. Like, I don't feel like anything was really concluded, and that was okay. Like, I didn't mind it. However, there were some things that we'd learnt about our characters throughout. There were things that were mentioned that were going on with our characters, not really to do with the mystery or the like suspensefulness going on, that just felt very much like these characters needed to resolve these things. And by the end of the book, it felt like they had, but we never saw that. It felt like there was a lot we didn't see, and I didn't know what was in it. Like, 3 stars because some of it was amazing, but also some of it I just really couldn't care about. So yeah, I felt very mixed about this in the end. In my reading journal, I wrote I really liked the writing and the way it really made you feel the ambience and the spooky part, and whilst reading it, it was easy to keep reading. The book itself, however, didn't actually do much for me. It was just vibes and a rough plot, and it was way too long for what it did do. Everything else I've written in my reading journal is spoilers, but like, that's the basics of it. And yeah, I don't know, like, I didn't dislike it. It's a 3 stars, and it's a 3 stars that I will keep on my shelf. Like, oftentimes 3 stars are ones where I'm like, oh, do I keep it or unhaul it? It's a 3 stars that I'm definitely going to keep. It did a lot of things that I've never read before, and in terms of the actual like vibes and the atmosphere, I really did enjoy it. But I don't know, there was a lot in there that was just like, what? I don't know. But yeah, that's the end of this video. I do hope that you enjoyed it. Well, from this point now, it'll be up in like 2 days, so hopefully you do enjoy it. But yeah, that is it from me. I have some more reading vlogs coming. I have some more videos coming, all to do with books and some vlogs, some tags. My TBR game will be out in another couple of weeks, so yeah, stick around, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like that. Do give this video a like if you did like it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye!